What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate all new subscribers. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Today I will be back on the lower boxes. I did start welding a little bit. I figured out my problem with my welder. I had the wrong shielding gas. I had all argon instead of 75-25 mix. I was talking to my buddy Anthony about it, and I was describing what was going on with the welding, how it was basically making like little mountains. It wasn't laying out like it should have been, and he knew immediately that I had the wrong gas, and he was right. I went, swapped the bottle out. Luckily the people at the local gas supply, they just swapped the bottle right out. I didn't have to pay anything because I barely used that other bottle. But I did test it just a second ago, and it's welding way better. Even from just my small tacks that I've done so far, it's a night and day difference. So I think I'm gonna go in here, the welds that I have put in here, down through that right there, and some of the other ones, they are not very good at all. They would probably hold, honestly, but I'd rather be sure. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna grind most of them out, get them back down to where it's some good clean metal, good contact, and I'm gonna go in there and re-weld everything, just so I know 100% that it's welded in there good. Because these lower torque boxes, they do have, well, a lot of torque on them whenever you got a lot of contact pat on the tire and a lot of power, and the twisting motion of the rear axle, it does pull on these lower boxes a lot. And that's the main reason why I'm changing these lower boxes out, is because the stock boxes, uppers and lowers, are known to tear out of the car once you start putting a lot of power down and really getting those 60 foots down. The upper and lower boxes start cracking and tearing out on you. So just to alleviate it for now, I could have came in and just welded all that stuff up to stiffen it, or they make plates to go in there to stiffen everything. But I figured just from the get-go, go in here, change out the upper and lower boxes to these Marty Merillat racing boxes, and be done with it. They're the top of the line upper and lower boxes by Merillat Racing. You can look them up on Facebook or Google Merillat Racing. It'll take you to their Facebook page. Shoot them a message, see what all they have. But they're a pretty awesome company. So without further ado, I'm going to get in here and start grinding this stuff, and then get back in here and try to weld this thing back in before my wife gets home and make me go in the house. All right, here we go. I'm kind of embarrassed to even show this, but I started grinding on this and I noticed that it was moving around quite a bit, and I took a chisel and literally knocked all of that back out. So I'm really glad I decided to do this. So I'm going to do all the welds that I've put on here so far. I'm going to take a chisel and knock them back off. If they don't come off, I'm going to grind them all back down. I'm going to clean all this up really well this time, and I'm going to burn these welds in really, really good this time, so that I know once I get this car to hooking that these lower boxes, these Merillat Racing boxes, are not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to throw this thing back on a time lapse and get to working. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing there. I don't even know why I'm showing y'all this, but with the incorrect heat, incorrect shielding gas, I literally just busted all the welds that I had previously put on here. I literally busted them all off with hammer and chisel. A little bit of that you can see up there I done earlier with the new gas and the correct amperage on the welder. It did hold. It's not pretty, but it did hold. The inside and here, I'm going to continue to grind the rest of that stuff off and get it nice and clean down through there. Get a lot of that the previous crappy welds off there the rest of the way. And then I should be able to burn this stuff in there really well. This is why it does pay to know what you're doing. But if you're like me and want to save money, you're able to learn know where you made mistakes and learn from it. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm going to be doing all this over again. If it wasn't for a couple of those welds I just burned on here, I could probably pull this box right back out from everything I've done previously. But you live and you learn. Take two. This is the first side. Luckily, I did stop and realize that something wasn't right. And I stopped and looked at it and decided to fix it. If it wasn't for me doing that now, this side probably would have got tore out the first hit that I made. So, but here we go. I'll start tacking this thing back in. Well, that looks way better than before. I know some of y'all on there are some welding experts who probably give me some pointers, which I don't mind, but gosh, it looks way better. Did miss a little bit right in there. Should have came up a little higher, but I'm way more confident in this now. Welded way better. Up there looks a little sloppy, but it'll hold. So I will come around the bottom side and go down the opposite side, and then on the back side back here, I'll lay some more. But I'm way happier with this. I'm way more confident with this now. I knew whenever I started welding with this thing the other day, I knew something was wrong, and we got her figured out. We're gonna lay some good beads in here and get these things welded up. As soon as I get this side welded in, as long as my wife lets me, I'll start welding the passenger side in, and then I still have to weld in the upper box as well. So we'll get all that cleaned up in there and start welding on that. So throw y'all back on a time lapse, let y'all listen to some decent music. We'll get back on her. Alright, I do have this lower box burned in pretty decent. See, some of my welds look pretty good. Some of them aren't so good, but it is down through here. I put a bunch of tacks that metal wants to burn through. I do have some good welds on the back side, up on the inside, and some right in there. But I have moved on to this upper box. As you can see, it is a little off, but the car is at a little bit of an angle. So I put my gauge here, and I did take and I put a level across the back side between these rails, and that mark where that is and the one on the level, whenever I put this deal on my level, was exactly the same. So I know it's pretty decent in there. I am having a hard time. I do have a couple tacks tacked it in there. I think I have it in the right spot. Let me get different. I believe I have it in the right spot. I've been measuring from different spots, like this hole to there, different spots. I'm going to find somewhere to measure on the bottom side to see if they're about the same. I want to make sure this thing is in there level and not crooked, so that whenever I go and set my rear end up, it sets up decent and I'm not fighting it and wondering why, and then come to find out it's because this isn't in there correctly. So I'm trying to take my time on this. I was going to burn that other box in, but I realized I never finished taking all this stuff out from in there, so I'll have to get in there another day and finish cutting all the rest of that stuff out of that side of the box so I can burn it in, get it all welded in there. But I'm going to try to get this up here set in here correctly, so I can get it tacked up real well and measure a ton before I finish weld this thing in. I'm going to make sure, I'm probably going to get on here and look at a couple videos and make sure I have in the right spot. They do put this notch in the upper box, and it matches that notch on the frame there. You can see where that little indentation is in the frame. So this notch does pretty much fit that on both sides. I might need to move that side a little bit. You see it doesn't fit where this one goes almost up to the top side where that notch comes back in. This side's a little bit different, so I probably need to push that back, take some more measurements, make sure this thing is 100% correct before I finish weld this in. But here we go. Alright, that's going to do it for tonight. I did tack that upper box in. I haven't fully welded it yet. I was still taking some measurements, making sure it's in the right spot. Moved it around quite a few times. It is about ready to go in. It's about in the correct spot. You can kind of see it up under there. The car is a little bit at an angle, so I did match the box, the angle of the box up to the angle of the car. Hopefully I'm about right. I'll do some more measuring before I do a final burn-in. Make sure that thing's good. This driver's side lower box is complete. It's in. I might do a couple more little tacks here and there, but for the most part, it is completely welded in and done. All it needs is some to be cleaned up real good and painted. I haven't messed with the tubs. I'll be getting back on those soon. I need to clean up all the areas really well and start laying tacks all around, get those completely tacked in, pick up some metal to fill these in. I'm probably just going to lay it over the top and go around and just tack it all the way, tack it in really well, and then use seam sealer to seal it all in up. Probably maybe tomorrow if I have time, I'll fit and finish the passenger side lower box, and then maybe get on the passenger side tub. If I have time also tomorrow, I'll go pick up some metal for the filler pieces and all this, and hopefully soon I'll have all of this all tidied up so that I can start working on cutting everything off the rear end so I can get the Merillat Racing bracketry for my rear end put on. But I made a little bit of progress today. Really glad I finally got my welder worked out. For all of you that are noobs messing with this stuff like I am, if you're MIG welding, use a mix. It's 75-25 right here on the bottle. Let's see, right there. So you got 75% argon, 25% carbon dioxide, and it made a world of difference. As I was showing you all in the beginning of the video, it's kind of embarrassing to show you all this stuff, but you know, I'll show you the good, I'll show you the bad. That was literally probably some with my settings of the welder, but you know what? It was pretty much just the gas, because once I put this gas on, I didn't even touch the settings on the welder, and y'all saw that first weld I done. Let me see. What am I looking at? Right there. That's that first weld I burned in, and it done pretty good. I'm sure some of y'all be in the comments telling me that I suck, but it is what it is. I'm trying my best and doing what I can with what I have. So if you haven't, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications of upcoming videos. Like I've said in the past, I am doing all of this car by myself. It is hard to get a lot done while trying to film. Those of you that do YouTube or try to film what you're doing will know that it seems like I'm getting nothing done, but I'm trying to film a lot for you guys, and it's kind of slow going. I might get in here and weld a bunch of this stuff up off camera. Maybe tomorrow evening whenever I get off work, I can come in here and bust a lot of this stuff out. But yeah, appreciate y'all watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Hit the bell for future videos. I do have some t-shirt stuff in the works. I had a few people asking about t-shirts, so I might make a t-shirt or two and sell. I don't know yet. We'll see. I'm not really that big, but we'll see. Appreciate y'all. Later.